Dear brothers and sisters, as we all gather here, we all want to reach our goals. We're here because we feel the spiritual aspect of our life is very, very important. And to be able to fulfill that, we try our very best to find out for ourselves what kind of life should we be leading. At any time of our lives when we have that inkling to know about life, to know about the purpose of life, to know why are we here, those moments are the best moments for us, because it's then that our journey towards our true goal starts. As we look at ourselves and we look at the environment in which we live, because we all first have a family, parents, children, brothers and sisters, uncles and aunts, and then we all have societies in which we live, the cities, the countries, and then we all live in this globe, which is today getting closer and closer because of communications, where today we could be in one part of the world and can know what's happening in another part of the world. So our interactions with people happen at many levels. And so we try to understand life in the scene in which we find ourselves in. I think it's easy to understand in this day and age, because many people are very educated. Education is prevalent all around the globe now. All countries, you can be educated. If you put in an effort, you can definitely get an education. And so with education comes the process of being able to have clear ideas about our environment. And as you get educated, whether it be in the humanities or the sciences or the languages, then we're learning about this world in which we live. And as we start to look at the true purpose of us being here, I think in this day and age it's very easy to understand that this world and activities here are not happening haphazardly. That there is some divine plan, there is some power which is in control. Today we know a lot about the earth we live on, and then we also learning about other planets which we experience in this galaxy in which we find ourselves. And so through science we know that there are many other planets, and we know that many planets revolve on different trajectories. And we also know that it's like millions and millions of years since creation came into being. And we also know that there are so many things that are going on and which haven't collided. There's someone out there or some power out there is controlling them. I think that's easy to understand in this day and age. What is that power? What form does it come in? How can we get close to it? Can we experience that power? That's what the spiritual journey is all about. The search to know that power, the search to experience that power is what a spiritual path is all about. As we realize that that power is a controlling power, and that power can be recognized by us, because as we read our scriptures, and the scriptures could be of any faith that we belong to, as we read the writings of the great saints and mystics and their experiences, we find time and time again references to experiencing that power, and experiencing that power in silence. So to silence the body and to silence the mind is the key to our own spiritual journey. Now when we learn the techniques of silencing the body and silencing the mind, whether you call it meditation, whether you call it praying with attention, whether you call it by any other name, inversion, going within. These are mechanisms through which we start to experience beyond what we experience through our physical senses. All of us, as we've lived in this world, use our physical senses, a sense of sight to see where we're going, a sense of hearing, where we hear sounds, voices, words of other beings, sense of smell, sense of taste, and sense of touch. So these are the 5 physical senses through which we operate. To go on the spiritual journey is to rise above physical body consciousness. So to do that, the stillness of the body and the stillness of the mind is needed. And so as we close our eyes and we've stilled the body, we find a quiet place and we sat down by ourselves and we're not touching anyone, so no one's going to meet, then we've stilled the body. That's easy to still. But as soon as we do that, many of us have a very similar problem. That problem is thoughts. Thoughts about the past, thought about the future, thought about one thing, thought about another thing. And that distracts us. And many times we find that what has happened to us in our day-to-day lives also starts to affect our meditations, because we are unable to take that aspect of our interaction with someone else out of the picture as we want to meditate. Whether we live in our homes, whether we go to work, whether we are just meeting others, one of the greatest difficulties that comes to everyone is criticism. We find that children in the home are always talked down to by the parents. You didn't do this, you didn't do this, you should do that. That's not right for you. How can you jump on the bed? One. So many things that we as parents are telling the kids. As the kids grow and become teenagers, they start talking back to the parents. As we look into our own homes, how many times, a husband tells the wife what is the better thing for her to do, and wife tells the husband what is the right thing for him to do. Then we go to work. And at work, generally, there is much criticism of the kind of work that we are doing. Either a boss is not happy with our work, or a co-worker thinks we don't know anything, and so many things start to happen in which we are looked down upon. Now when someone criticizes us, then the effect of that criticism is not only there for the time that we are there, or we heard the criticism, but those effects are there for long periods of time. And as we meditate, it's a rerun of the whole scene that's going on for us. When that happens, then our attention, instead of being focused on the spiritual heights that we can experience, just goes into being focused on that criticism that we were involved with. And then we find that we are unable to experience the divine. So criticism is a part of life that we all have to deal with. But its effects are very, very bad if we don't let that criticism pass away. Many of us hold on to the criticism. And so there are two ways in which people react. One is when someone criticizes you, you think, yeah, maybe they are right. You start to look at yourself and you start to evaluate what is it that they were saying that we're not doing correct, and you start to fix yourself. Another way that you look at the criticism is, you can understand why the other person or party is criticizing you. Because it's very simple that whatever you did or whatever you said was so good and so correct. So how could they find fault with it? Then you get angry. And when you get angry, in anger, either you say things which are very, very difficult in the long run, or you start to retaliate even later on. And you think, this person unjustly made me feel bad. And so one starts to retaliate. And in time, when you take that route, it creates more difficulties and more difficulties and more difficulties, not only for the person that you're retaliating against, but for yourself too, because the time and the effort that it takes to get to that state keeps you away from being able to grow spiritually. So saints and mystics tell us that we need to forgive and we need to forget. They say we should understand that complaints are going to come irrespective of what we do. So there's a very interesting example. It really shows that whatever you do, there's someone out there who doesn't like it. If we realize that, then we won't let complaints or criticism bother us. So there was this farmer, and he had a son, and so the farmer and the son wanted to go to the marketplace so they could buy some things and bring them back. So generally in those days, you would use donkeys to be able to bring the load back and take the load from one place to another. So they had a donkey, so the father and the son are walking and the donkey is walking behind them. So as they're walking, on the way they find two women are talking. And as they pass them by, one woman tells the other, "Look at how stupid these two guys are. They have this donkey, and the donkey can carry the weight. I don't know why they're not sitting on the donkey. Because they're just walking. They could sit on the donkey and they could go." So when the father listens to it, he thinks, "Yeah, that's a good idea." So he takes his son. He says, "Son, why don't you sit on the donkey?" So now the son is sitting on the donkey and the father is walking with the donkey. And as they're going further, there are two people who are having a great discussion. And the discussion is, one of the person is saying, the young kids of these days are useless. They don't care about their parents. They just are in their own world. They just want to do whatever they want to do. And so as this farmer and the donkey and the kid on donkey passing by, says, "See, look at this kid. He's sitting on the donkey and his old father is walking. This guy should have more sense. Not to let his dad walk, he should be walking himself and put the dad on the donkey." So the boy, when he heard it, he felt very bad. And as soon as he crossed them, he got off the donkey. He said, Dad, no, you should sit on the donkey." So now dad is sitting on the donkey and the boy is walking with him. And as they are going, there's a group which is talking between each other. And they look at the father, they say, "Look at this guy. He has his young kid walk and he's sitting on the donkey." They say, it doesn't make any sense. So the father gets off and they both start to think. And they say, "Okay, let's both sit on the donkey." So they're both sitting on the donkey. And as they're walking by, there's this group which is talking about cruelty to animals. He looks and says, "What is wrong with you guys? You are being cruel to the donkey. Both of you guys are sitting on the donkey. Poor donkey has to carry both of you. You should be the ones who should be carrying the donkey. So they go further, both of them get off the donkey. And they say, hey, we can't be cruel to the donkey. So they get some rope, they tie the legs of the donkey, they get a big pole, get it upside down, father's on the front, kid is on the back, and they're up going with the donkey. And they are going, and there's a bridge which comes before the marketplace. And as they're on the bridge, they see this whole group of farmers there, and they're laughing. And say, why are you laughing? They say, you two are really stupid. It's the donkey who's supposed to be helping with the load. Why are you picking the donkey up? And so they realized that whatever they did, there was someone else who criticized them. If they didn't get on the donkey, someone said, why are you not getting on the donkey? If one got on the donkey, then they're saying, oh, something wrong with the other one. If both of them got on the donkey, then it's cruelty to the donkey. If they're picking the donkey up, people are ridiculing them, because why are they picking the donkey up? So I think as we pass through life, we realize the same applies to each and every one of us. To make 100% of the people happy all the time is not physically possible. Because there will be someone there who would criticize whatever you're doing. So in that state, what do we do? How do we deal with it? On the spiritual path, we are asked to focus on God. God the Creator, God the one who brought everything into being. God is the one who we want to know, God is the one we want to be close to, God is the one who we want to experience. So God is the one who created everything, we want to know and be close to God. And so, unfortunately, at the physical level, we cannot experience God, because God is a power. It's the spirit, His consciousness. And so we need to rise above physical body consciousness. And so we try to focus within and experience that power, you can call it God power, whatever power, that can help us truly find a connection with God. So let us sit in meditation for a few minutes. Please sit as comfortably as you can. Close your eyes very gently, just like you close them when you go to sleep. Your eyeball should be straight, focus 8 or 10 inches in front of you. And as you close your eyes, those of you who have been initiated in the mysteries of the beyond, please do your Simran. And those of you who are new here, please repeat any name of God that you feel comfortable with. This repetition of God's name should be done mentally and not out loud. I pray to God Almighty to help each and every one of us here connect with the divine power within and to experience the divine light of God within ourselves. We'll be sitting for a few minutes. I'll be getting you out of this meditative state at that time. And my best wishes are with each and every one of you. प्लीज लीव ऑफ, छोड़ दीजिए जी.